Do you remember the tomato seeds we planted last week? Well, a week can sure make a difference. Check that out. Let's talk about growth today on Motivation Monday. I love taking lessons from God's creation. I believe that these 1 week old tomato plants can teach us a lot. I think it's amazing how much they've grown in just the 1 week since we planted those seeds. And so we observed that. We learned that, yes, there is growth that happens quickly. But we also recognize it's going to be a while before those tomato plants are mature enough, big enough, healthy enough to produce fruit. So we take that lesson to ourselves as Christians, and we consider ourselves as we think about how we grow in worship. Have you ever stopped to consider that? It's an important thing to think about because, of course, worship is something that every Christian should be doing. And so I want to think about 3 ideas. I know you've got some more, but 3 ideas that can help us to grow in worship. Number 1 starts at home, and it's making the investment, making sure that the soil, our heart, is ready for the seed. And so we're taking the word, we're letting it soften us up, we're letting it be planted deep in our heart so that God's word is growing in our hearts. We're opening the word at home, we're studying from devotional books, we're going to Bible studies, we're growing in the word, recognizing that just an hour or 2 a week at the church building, well, that's not going to allow as much growth as we really need. And so we're working on it on our own. Number 2 for growing in worship is the attitude we take with us as we head off to worship. And I think just pausing for a moment as we leave the house to say thank you can really change things. I recognize that when we're leaving the house to head to worship, sometimes it's really chaotic. Or sometimes we're really carrying a heavy weight with us of things that are going on or concerns that we have. And just pausing to say thank you and recognize that we have the opportunity to go and worship God helps to change our mindset and helps us to better grow in worship and to help others grow too by encouraging them. The third thing happens at worship as we're participating in singing and praying and listening to the word, studying along. I believe that it's important that when we are finished with worship, we look for opportunities to share something that we have learned, something that we have gleaned from that time together, something that you took away from one of the songs, something that you took away from a prayer or from our time in the Word. You could share it with someone there at the church building. You could share it with a friend or a neighbor or a family member. But we take something and we use it. We allow it to produce fruit. And we recognize that also helps us to grow in worship. There's so many other things that we could list and we could consider, and I know you have a bunch of ideas. I'd like to hear them. You could leave them in the comments below. You could call or text me too. I'd enjoy hearing from you. But I hope this week you strive to grow in your worship to God. God bless you.